Man. 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 Shit. Man. Mad love to everybody that's here right now. This is a random live stream. Um, as you can see by the title, eh, I didn't expect to be going live tonight, but I was posting on Instagram about the murder, assassination of Nipsey Hussle. And I was posting. I said, well, I need to get this off my chest. I needed to say this to everybody. That way, this can be understood. As always, mad love and shout out Team Rob. I appreciate y'all. I appreciate the support. But we're going to get into this shit. As we know now, some of you are privy to the information. Some of you may not be privy to the information. Nipsey Hussle has been assassinated. And, you know, if you've been keeping up with the things that Nipsey Hussle has been doing as he was waking himself up, if you kept up with his interviews, you know that he had a documentary coming out about Dr. Sebi. If you don't know about Dr. Sebi, I do believe they assassinated Dr. Sebi as well. The media and its henchmen, which would also include the black coons that we have run amok amongst us, will be trying to paint this off as some type of random gang violence. as they always do. This is not a new tactic. This is something that they've been doing, as per the media. They have successfully, systematically been murdering activists as it was anyway. Some of you are privy to that information. They've been doing that already. And the one thing that's angering me the most is the fact that they can do this and literally life goes on, business as usual. Black people go back to, you know, being in their slumber constantly. They've been able to do this historically. They've been able to take out our leaders, take out our outspoken activists, and nobody seems too bad an eye at this. They continue to go on. They want to make it about his gang affiliation. That's not what it's about, at least not in based on, to me at this point, can just be chalked up as simple deductive reasoning. If you are a person who has any type of common sense, then you understand what they've been doing, the methods that they've used against us the entire historically throughout the entire history of Black people being outspoken, standing up for themselves, and being about more. Nipsey Hussle was being about more, buying up his block, speaking about the white supremacist system here in America. 3Ks, don't get this shit fucked. Don't ever get that shit fucked up. Here in America, been talking about that. He had been coming out, opening up about that. He had a interview he did with the Breakfast Club where he talked about what he wanted to do as far as the Dr. Sebi documentary was concerned. But that didn't help save him. Now, what I'm most upset about is the fact that Black people have a tendency, again, to see things like this, chalk it up as coincidence, and keep continuing on in our slumber in this life. The thing that bothers me as well is that you'll have these rappers out here that are acting like they are you know, giving condolences and all of that. And to me, I feel as though if you, instead of giving condolences, they should pick up where he left off. As far as that documentary should still come out. Somebody, these guys, you know, crying, acting like they loved him, acting like they cared about him, then they should pick that up and just pick up the baton and continue to go. Because one thing about this government that they like to do is they like to cut us off at the knees and then we fall. Nobody wants to pick up the baton and continue to run, which makes these types of hits successful, which makes the assassination of Malcolm X's, you know, even Martin Luther King, the assassination that they do, they chop us off at the knees, and then we calm down, we simmer down. A lot of people wasn't even giving a fuck about Nipsey Hussle until he died. This is happening per a lot of our leaders, a lot of our activists, even people such as me, who people may view as lower level activists. It doesn't really fucking matter. They're able to knock people off for being outspoken. And we have yet to have a true, very serious issue to that. And I'm seeing all of these people talking about RIP. And you know, fuck a RIP. I'm really, that shit bothers me when, you know, all these prayer hands and all this, you know, talk about praying and all this shit. That shit is trash. Prayer is not protecting Black people at all. It hasn't been proven to protect Black people. The only people that can protect us is each other. That's it. All this RIP ain't no rest in peace for somebody that was murdered like that. This man has children. Ain't no RIP. And y'all know, if you've been watching my videos, you know I come against this RIP shit every time I see it. I come against that because there ain't no peace. We are resting in peace alive. That's what we're continuing to do. Living our best lives, or at least we think we're living our best lives. Ain't no RIP, ain't no rest in peace in this shit. We are woke, alive. We are alive. And we resting in what we perceive as peace. Keeping our heads down. Don't look at them in the eye. Don't come at the system. Because we scared. They want to tell people that's talking about this that they tripping. I'm tripping. Everybody's tripping, talking about this system and what it has been. You still have Black people on the motherfucking fence. It's time for you bitches to get off the goddamn fence. It's time for y'all to come off the motherfucking porch. Come out of the goddamn house, because shit is real out here. This is continuing to happen. And the fucked up part is that Black people have a tendency not to give a fuck about anybody until they dead. until something happened to him. Now, all of a sudden, here comes the support. I'll have to be killed for somebody to pay anything I'm talking about any attention. We got to do better than that. We got to do better than that for each other. We're not protecting each other. We're not picking up the baton and continuing to run with this shit. This should be waking Black people up. Instead, people want to be sitting around talking about motherfucking Ghost old bitch ass kissing Beyonce 2 times at the Image Awards. This is where our mind is. When things like this happen, when this government comes out here and puts out hits, again, I'm not chalking this up as motherfucking gang violence. I can't do it just based on the path this brother was on. I can't do that. Independent artist, buying up the block, owning his masters to his music, making the documentary about Dr. Sabi. Ain't no coincidence in this shit. And don't let them convince you that it's a coincidence. This is what's happening. And not only him, but we have a line of other Black activists that are being murdered. And we continue to just, float around out here like it's a motherfucking game. Now, I'm not telling anybody to run around here scared, because I don't feel like we should be in fear. But we do need to be very cautious, very aware of what's going on, because we have no choice. Somebody asks who they is, it's this racist ass motherfucking government. Very simple. You want to know who they is. That's the they. The same they that have been operating against Black people historically. The same they. The they ain't changed. We have to be more mindful. We have to raise our frequency so people like Nipsey Hussle aren't dying in vain, aren't being murdered in vain. And that can't be used to scare us. That shit lit a fire in me. I mean, I already got a fire burning constantly, but that shit, it ignites a fire inside of me. I can't speak for anybody else. I can't speak for anybody else. Block any bitch ass motherfucker in here talking about it was Black on Black crime. My mods, please block. I can't even, I can't deal with these motherfuckers. Block anybody in here talking about it was some Black on Black crime. Block them. Get them the fuck up out of here. They can go talk that bullshit somewhere else. They can go talk it somewhere else. We're not doing that shit over here tonight. We're not doing that shit over here tonight. Block them. Let me go ahead and get him the fuck up out of here. My mods, please stay on that shit, because I can't deal with that shit tonight. I won't be doing no Black on Black crime tonight. It's too easy. We easy like that because there's always 2 sides. There's always some motherfuckers that's going to sit around and talk about and chalk it up as Black on Black violence when these motherfuckers been orchestrating hits on Black people historically. This is what they've been doing. And they'll send somebody Black to do it. A lot of times they'll send somebody Black to do it, but it's still orchestrated by these motherfuckers. This man got kids he left behind. I think he was in a relationship with Laura London. People who, I'm sure their hearts are broken. I'm sure their hearts are broken. It should not, we have to stop waiting until death happens for us to care. We got to stop doing that. And no RIP. Y'all cut that RIP shit out. We're not doing that no more. We done with RIP. When people getting murdered, found, murdered in the streets or found lynched or, activists coming up dead, ain't no RIP. That makes us look weak. That makes us look like we don't know what the fuck going on. And these tactics continue. This should be something that we are fired up about. We have to be. We have to be. Black people, we're in a situation right now where we have to look at this society, look at where we are in this society, and decide to make some changes. Period. Period. We have to. I understand that, people want to, have fun. Being about this motherfucking life, being about your consciousness, being about what people would deem as woke. It's about being enraged. It's not about being happy. That's not what this shit is about. It's about being enraged and being brave enough not to cower in the face of this system, to expose the truth no matter what. That's what it's about. We have to stop being scared. We have to stop allowing these motherfuckers to spin stories however the fuck they want to. Because we're letting them do that. We give them that type of power. We know what the fuck's going on. But not enough of us are brave enough to speak on it. He had his gang affiliation. He didn't ever hide that. But he also was on that path. He also was on that path of enlightenment. And you can do that from any walk of life. They assassinated that brother. And after a week goes by, black people, per pattern, will go back to the same bullshit we've been on. Per the pattern. We'll go right back. Because that's how we are. Motherfuckers on YouTube calling themselves woke and be back to talking about gossip. Right back. All these, after this week, after all these RIP videos, after they get made, we'll go right back. Per the pattern. This isn't me trashing black people. This is per the pattern. We go right back to being on some bullshit every single time. We have to change that. We have to hold ourselves. Other people that are out here speaking, call themselves bringing truth to power. We have to hold everybody's feet to the fire on this shit. Or Nipsey, like many other black people who are awakening and using their voice, he'll die in vain. He'll be murdered in vain. He would have been assassinated in vain. If we look at our leaders in even down to the Malcolm, even talking about Malcolm X, assassinated in vain. Because where are we? They can kill anybody they want to, and we still right here. More worried about celebrity gossip than we are what's going on around us. Than we are speaking truth to power. More worried about what's going on in March Madness, sports. That's a flaw we have to fix within ourselves. That's something we got to take care of. All this perception of fun that we claim that we haven't. We got to change this shit. We got to raise our kids to be aware of what's going on around them. Because if the government can touch one of us, it can touch us all. But we have to stop being scared. We have to stop being scared as a people. They shouldn't be able to touch one of us and continue to go. We have to. It's our fear that controls us. It's always been our fear. That's why they knock one of us off at a time. Somebody said something about what steps do I think we should take? What steps do I recommend? The same ones I've been recommending for years. Same steps. Steps ain't changing. Steps are not changing. Enlighten yourself, enlighten your people, enlighten your children. Simple steps. Stop raising cowards. Stop raising people that will end up saying, oh, this is black on black crime. Stop letting shit like that slide. We have to empower ourselves. They shouldn't be able to knock off one of us and stop an entire movement. They shouldn't be able to do that, but they can. And they've been able to do that historically. The only reason they can do that is because we're cowards. Because we sitting around, posturing. Letting these even random white motherfuckers out here just punk us. Disrespect us constantly. Sitting around being mad. I'm seeing this racism is being fought by I seen some shit about Facebook trying to censor white supremacist groups. We think we winning with little stupid shit like that. We think that's empowering of us. We have to stop giving a fuck about white supremacist groups. We have to stop thinking that them being censored is a win for us. I seen another video of this girl going ham over a MAGA hat. Over a MAGA hat. We still getting mad over hats. When you repping yourself, we ain't no reason to be mad. I don't want white supremacists censored. I don't want that. I don't need Facebook to do that for me. Let them come out here. Let them show themselves. Wear all the motherfucking hats they want. And I ain't mad at them because I got on my own. When you wearing your own paraphernalia, represent you, represent your people, you don't have to worry about what the fuck nobody else doing. We got to be strong there. That's what we got to do. Stop being scared of the backlash of not being, or what the backlash of being proud, being black and proud, knowing what the fuck you talking about in front of these motherfuckers out here. It doesn't matter. We got to be willing to put our lives on the line for this shit. That's what it's come down to. That's what it takes. I could walk out here and be gunned down tomorrow. I'm going to go ahead and tell y'all now, I'm not suicidal. Because they able to still keep saying that, well, black activists and black people running around out here just hanging themselves. I'm not suicidal. Motherfuckers run up on me and I ended up dead by hanging. Wasn't no suicide. I don't got no beef going on out here where somebody gonna come gun me down on their own merit and just shoot me. No. Anything happened to me, I'm telling y'all right now, these motherfuckers did it. They wanted it to happen. They set the shit up. This government. Motherfuckers keep asking who they is. The government. This racist ass government. This should light a fire in black people. I see some people saying it was a ritual killing. All I know is outspoken black people shit be happening to them. That's what I know. Somebody said they equal white people. No, They don't equal white people. It's this motherfucking government. That's the day. CIA, FBI, whatever city, PD, what they call alphabet boys. That's the day. These aren't random happenings, black people. Don't let them convince you that these are random happenings. If it was about gang shit, it would have been taken. It would have been something he would have been in a situation about. He'd have been shot up because he was banging way harder before now in the past. That would have been something that was done. But conveniently, when he come out here on this woke path, he gets shot 6 times while he on this path. I don't think there's been any evidence of who shot him. I know he was shot outside of outside of a store he has over in LA. I don't know exactly who shot him. I doubt I highly doubt that the police gonna look hard either. I highly doubt they gonna give a fuck. They gonna find him right where they found Tupac's killer at. They gonna find him right where they found Biggie's killer at. They gonna find him right where they found Darren Seal's killer at. They're gonna find him right where they finding these holistic doctors killers at. Dr. Sebi's killer. That's how much effort they're gonna put into it. Because the police department can chalk it up as gang violence, and that's fine. We don't have a problem with that. Just another gang shooting. 48 hours go by, it becomes a cold case. Life goes on. But his children devastated. His girlfriend, fiance, devastated. We got to stop allowing this shit to happen while we continue to go back to sleep. I understand people are doing being sad and all that shit. Being sad is that's a phase. We gotta, okay, once we get done being sad, it should turn to rage. That rage should turn to us being more active as people. Period. If all of us is Darren Seals, if all the gang members start walking that Nipsey path to awakening, if all of us do that, they can't hit one of us and just chalk it up. Then they got to come after millions and millions of us. That's what we should be. Not fighting amongst each other. That's weak. That makes us weak. Arguing amongst each other. And I'm sure they're going to be down there marching in the streets in LA. They're going to be marching. But then the marching going to stop. The marching will stop. And we'll go right back to wondering what the fuck, Who Cardi B drugging this week? We back talking about that shit. It'll be all about that then. They know that. Motherfuckers will be talking about mutant Cardi B. Because we don't stay focused on shit. We go through shit in phases. It's expected at this point. They expect us to go back to sleep. Even if we pick our heads up for a second, they expect us to go right back to sleep because they're going to bombard you with a whole bunch of other fuckery. It's too easy for them. We make it too easy. I see people still talking about solutions. Y'all black people, listen. Any black person that presents solutions to other black people, the conversation will end in black people saying, what's the solutions? Every time. Every time. It'll end in, what's the solution? Every time. Y'all get solutions. It'll be boycott this, shut down that, mute this, mute that. It don't matter. If solutions matter to black people, then Malcolm X wouldn't have wasted all his breath. If solutions matter, Dr. Amos Wilson's, John Henry Clark. If solutions really matter to black people, solutions been put out here before I was even alive. Books, documentaries. Black folk don't care about solutions. They use that as a way to patronize a person speaking about the issues out here. Y'all can't even, we can't even boycott Gucci. You can't even boycott the NFL. Solutions. We can't even get you to stand up to your oppressor. Stand up to your the motherfucker colonizing you. Solutions? You still ducking your head when you see white folk. You start whispering. You get scared. Every solution that's presented to black people, it can't be done for whatever reason. The solution would naturally be to stop being motherfucking scared. Naturally. Study some of the greatest teachers we ever had. Solutions laid in everything they talked about. Solutions. They're there. You done heard the word organize so many times. What does it matter to black people? Unify so many times. What does that matter to black people? You scared to even post about racism on your motherfucking social media page. You won't even say nothing. You want to go pray. That's the only solution. If I sit on here and talked about prayer and how prayer will help and all that shit, motherfuckers would be talking about some goddamn church. Preach. Solutions been laid out here for black people. Modern day times and even before now, solutions laid out. Black people ain't hearing none of that shit. Support black businesses. Well, Raise your kids to have pride. Well, well, you could stop watching the NFL. That'll show them something. Well, you know, I was raised on football, so boycott Dove, boycott Nivea. Well, uh, you know, eczema runs in my family, so black businesses, customer service, excuses. Back to back to back. Hold entertainers' feet to the fire. Well, they don't have to say nothing. They don't have to do nothing for us. They don't have to even speak to, they don't have to be no act. Everything we say. Y'all say, well, you know, it ain't really racism that's holding us back. It ain't really a thing no more. That's a thing of the past. The government ain't against us. What you talking about? Why is there a handful of people out here talking about this government? A handful of black folk exposing this shit. You want to take it up 2 handfuls? Fine. Why but a few of us? I got this job, Rob, so I can't just be out here speaking truth. We're not willing to sacrifice anything. If you're not willing to sacrifice anything, stop fucking asking for goddamn solutions. To be a part of a solution, you have to be willing to sacrifice something. You don't even want to be uncomfortable. You don't even want white folk to think you hostile. If you're not ready to make any type of sacrifice, stop asking for solutions. What's the point? Y'all too woke for me, man. I can't, I'm just trying to, I'm just trying to live out. Y'all too woke. Y'all be too serious. How can you not be serious when black men being gunned down in the streets? Activists being killed. Why aren't y'all serious? Why is seriousness a negative thing to black people? I'm just trying to live life. Seriousness is negative to black people. It got to be about party, fun, games, entertainment. That's all it can be about. Funny, ha, laugh. That's all we can be about. According to black folk. Man, y'all woke motherfuckers. Y'all be on some old other shit all the time, man. Your own people will say this shit to you. You black calling somebody too woke, but you don't take time out to call nobody too sleep. There's something wrong with that. If you're not willing to make any sacrifices, you cannot act on any solutions. Y'all won't even give up Gucci. Now, I'm not saying this is normal black people. Y'all won't even give up Gucci. Y'all got excuses for people supporting that. Well, it's their money, so they should be able to do whatever they want with their money, Rob. They just like the clothes. It don't matter if they, These motherfuckers can be blatantly against you, and all you want to do is run down to the polls and try to change the system through voting. That's what you want to do. That's what black folk, that's all we're willing to do. Register to vote. That's a sacrifice we'll make. That's the only sacrifice we'll make. Well, I voted, so I did the best I could. And that same logic gonna get passed down to your children. That voting is the best thing they can do for themselves, for their communities. Meanwhile, Asians investing. The Arabs investing. But all we can do is vote. And argue about voting. Argue about whether somebody a Democrat or Republican. This is what we are. Because we think that shit matters. We think that shit is relevant. Talking about solutions. Nearly Fuller. Motherfuckers grew old talking about solutions. Dr. Francis Cress Welsing grew old and passed away talking about solutions. I mean, I be watching old lectures from the 80s and shit. Motherfuckers been talking about solutions since before I was born. And y'all have the audacity to come and ask somebody, what's the solutions? They've been written about. You got the audio form. Now you got motherfucking YouTube. You can look up any damn thing. You got Google. You can look up anything. Anything, you can look it up. And people, black people, well, what's the solutions, Rob? And then when I say something, well, that's why we still here. Because everything is well. Black man, black woman, stop fighting each other. Well, they hurt my feelings, so fuck them. I ain't got time to be. No solution works for black folk. Nothing's good enough for black people. Black man, black woman protect each other. Well, black woman invest in some guns. Invest in some self-defense. These motherfuckers out here crazy. Well, it ain't that serious. I had a woman tell me, I don't want to raise my kid to be militant. You don't have a choice. We act like there's some, like there's an option. Like this is a multiple choice situation. You have no choice but to raise your kid to be militant. And both mom and dad should be invested in that. Shouldn't be no tug of war. Shouldn't be no arguing. You have a black child. You raise him to be militant. You raise him to speak truth to power. That's all we producing. Don't send him to church on Sunday. It's a waste of time. You don't have a choice. This society gives you no choice but to raise your child militant. I argue with black parents all the time because they don't want their kid to be looked at as racist. You think anybody else worried about that? But black folk, we the ones out here oppressed, being victimized, but we so concerned about being looked at as racist for telling the truth. That's our concern. Nobody else has that concern. We worried about what the fuck people think. What they gonna say. Because we too busy still wanting to be that token black person that white folk like. The one white folk feel safe around. Everybody else work together. Fuck the other side. That's everybody else's mentality. Fuck the other side. But if we say that, we don't want to be looked at the wrong way. That's ingrained in our minds. And we ingrained in our children's minds. We have to do better. We don't have a choice. There isn't no, well, I'm going to raise my black child like this and see if they make it okay. There's no option for black people but to raise a militant black child to where they're not getting the information at 25 or 30 years old. They just now starting to come into enlightenment. I've heard that story too many times. It's my own personal story as well, to where you coming into it when you damn near 30. Why? Why you just now learning this? Why you just now knowing this or realizing this? This should have been shown to you. You was raised in a house with black folk, your family black folk, but you just now getting it. That's a solution. Well, don't nobody want to do shit about that though. We can't do shit. We can't even raise our kids. We got excuses for that. What happens to Nipsey should be a wake-up call for black people. Should inspire you to want to raise your kids better. Because had Nipsey been raised on black consciousness, there's a good chance he wouldn't even been a member of no gang. Gang wouldn't have a purpose then. Instead of you coming into it, many of our young black men and women in gangs, turning to gangs because they don't understand black pride. They don't understand unity because they're not being taught. And I can't just say we like to act like it's just the would be gang members and the would be the criminals of our society, even the educated, the so-called educated black people, still nothing. Still nothing. They think they're gonna seek liberation through getting degrees. We've created this facade, this reality in our mind where somehow you can escape. If you get some plaques on the wall, go get a doctorate or some shit like that, somehow you'll be okay. And then we have this individualistic mindset where if we okay, then we ain't worried about no other black folk. We ain't worried about nobody else. When if you black, empowering other black people should be the win. We got young black kids out here killing themselves being bullied in fucking school by other black kids. What's the solution, Rob? Stop raising your kids to make fun of other black people. Well, we can't do shit. But be mad at racist. Instead of raising our kids ready to deal with this reality, the way it's set up. That's what we got to do. It's our responsibility. We don't need help with that. That can be done in your household. There are things that we can do we don't need no help with. And when these motherfuckers run around out here taking out our own, there is no other side. There is no, well, maybe it was, they really did commit suicide, or maybe it really was gang violence. No, ain't no maybes. And anybody that's coming out here talking that shit needs to be shut down by the multitudes. Stop letting them motherfuckers give us the narrative. Stop allowing the narrative to be what they say. Because they lie. We know they lie. And still we trust them. You trust the police. You trust detectives. You trust the news. It doesn't even make any sense. You think they're telling the truth this time? Doesn't make any sense. These are the same people that gun us down and get the fuck off. How? I don't understand how the fuck y'all continue to allow your trust to be in this system at any point, at any part of it, any level of it. How? And anybody that speaks out against the government, oh, they're a conspiracy theorist. That's what they'll call it. Other than a person that's paying attention to patterns. That's deduction. How you trust the police on Monday, but by Friday you mad at them. Then you back to trusting them again the next Tuesday, the following Tuesday. Then you re-mad at them on Thursday. Like, it don't work like that. But this is what black people do. And we got to be better about doing that. We got to be better about allowing so many of us to do that. We need to change our motherfucking frequency. We have to. We have to. Some people are skeptical. Some people skeptical. They say it's just a routine gang hit. Routine gang hit. The government would never do this. It surprises me the shit that we still put past this government. Where is the confidence in you, or what confident, or what, I guess, what era did the government decide to be trustworthy enough for you to rule them out? When was that? Y'all watch all these fucking shows. I know y'all chalk up everything as entertainment. You'll see shows where the government infiltrates gangs, send co-opted motherfuckers into these gangs to use them to cause rival beefs, to cause murders and shit like that. Why do y'all think that the government won't do this shit? Why do y'all put shit past them? I don't understand that. What did they do to make y'all trust them? What year was this? Please, somebody cite the year. I'll wait. What year was this? Because per my research, even before I was born, the government been working against black people, infiltrating black organizations, sending moles, sitting in motherfuckers that's working for the government to set up the organization. The Black Panthers, Fred Hampton, if you need an example of any kind. Y'all telling me they just trustworthy now. The government is to be trusted. And you'll put this past them. Oh no, it was just some old other black person. Who was that black person working for? Who sent them? I don't understand y'all. I don't understand black people. Why do y'all trust this government like this? To where you'll rule them out completely. Rob, it wasn't the government. How do you rule them out? With such confidence, too. Now, that was some gang shit. The government infiltrates gangs. All they gotta do is go to a person in the rival gang, because black people have no codes at all. Go to a person in a rival gang, promise them they're gonna get paid, promise them they're gonna get some form of immunity. There's your hit right there. Government been doing surveillance on him, so the government already know where he gonna be, where he gonna, what events he gonna be going to and everything. Y'all see this shit on TV and y'all act like the government would never. Like, come on. It makes no sense to me how any black person could just automatically come out and be like, nah. The government been orchestrating hits, been using other black people to infiltrate organizations to cause discord. That's history. They don't just stop using tactics. That don't make sense. Why would they stop using tactics that work? How do you rule them out so easily? I don't believe in all that conspiracy shit. What you mean? The government ain't never blatantly came out and just said, well, I killed them, I wanted them dead, so this is what we're gonna do to do it. They don't come do press conferences and talk about the hits they doing. They're not open with you like that. So you gotta put this shit together yourself. And whatever somebody say the government did, they did that shit. That's where I am at with. Like, how could you be any other way? The government lied about 9/11. Oh yeah, they did that shit. Yeah, they did. I don't even think nothing about it. Somebody gonna come out, NASA fake. Okay, yeah, they did that shit. NASA fake as hell. That motherfuckers been lying the whole goddamn time. They did that shit. That's where I'm at with them. Because when it's black folk, I'm gonna tell you what I noticed about black people. If a black person does something to lose the trust of another black person, that black person won't trust that black person no more. This government been against you the whole time, and somehow you still have confidence in them that they doing right by you these days. Oh, it's a new day. No, it ain't. The day ain't new at all. It's no new day. If they've been targeting you, they will continue to target you because we continue to be disorganized. We continue to be infiltrated. They can pay another black person to go infiltrate a movement. Happened to Marcus Garvey. Or they can just pay you to get the fuck out of the way. Happened to Martin Luther King. And with Nipsey being knocked off like that, and with it being looked at as a gang hit, well, now there's retaliation. Now somebody else get hit. You know what happens after that? More retaliation. Now somebody else will get hit. And somebody else, and somebody else. It'll go back and forth like this. That's how it works. And the government won't find out shit. Won't know shit. The police department won't know shit. It will continue. And y'all will have doubt that the government is even capable of doing this. Somebody tell me how NASA is fake. Believe it. Believe whatever you want, man. I ain't telling y'all what to believe. I'm asking you to use deductive reasoning. If you believe in NASA, then believe in NASA. Do what you gotta do. But I feel like the least we can do is treat the government like we treat other black people. When they do something to fuck you over, you don't trust them no more. That's how y'all treat each other. That's how you treat a black business, that you go get poor customer service. No, I ain't fucking with them no more. Treat the government the same way. But y'all don't want to do that. You don't want to give that same energy you give to your own people to these other outside motherfuckers. Y'all don't want to do that. I'm simply suggesting that you keep the same energy. Y'all understand that type of terminology, right? Keep the same energy that you have with your own people. Keep it with the government. Keep it with these random white motherfuckers walking around here, still being able to bully y'all. Keep the same energy. Same motherfuckers that are poisoning the water up in Flint. Same motherfuckers that are put all these chemicals and shit in your food that's killing you. These motherfuckers do this shit. And you don't want to believe none of it. It could be an Illuminati hit. Somebody said something about the Illuminati, but to me, the Illuminati is just an extension of the government. They're able to operate the way they operate because the government don't give a fuck. They all in cahoots. It's just an extension of the government, if you ask me. That's why when I tell people, you know, when they talk about the Illuminati, they say they don't want to use that terminology. Well, you just say the government. They all in cahoots with each other. We the ones on the outside debating the issues. They sit at round tables and make decisions. That's why you don't hear about nobody going to jail, nobody being imprisoned by any of these types of hits. You don't hear about shit. They work and move with impunity because money overrides everything. That's how this shit works. That's why ain't nobody going to prison. That's why they don't never find nobody. It becomes what they call a cold case. Like it's bullshit. That black people will still argue against somebody saying, well, it's some government shit. It's some old bullshit going on. It's black folk that argue against that shit. Why the fuck you always speaking up for the government, but the government don't never speak up for you? Have you checked yourself? Have you looked in the mirror and wondered that? You will be, look, you black people will come out and defend the government in different times, and the government never defends you. Never. Name a time. If you got a time and you telling me I'm crazy, name a time that the government came out and spoke for you. When you being accused of being whatever the fuck, the government don't come out here and be like, black people ain't this, black people ain't that. Y'all stop talking about black people like that. Not once. So why do black people come in to speak on behalf of the government? Why do we do that? I don't get that. That doesn't make any sense. You ever heard of a press conference where somebody from the FBI or CIA or any governmental branch you want to come up with, it doesn't matter, one time where they gave a press conference and they supported you and had your back? Why these activists ended up coming up murdered, assassinated? You hear the government coming out talking about protecting black people, standing up for us. Never. So what the fuck do y'all black folk be doing? We got a problem. We got a serious problem. Wait, what? That's a lot. That's a lot. Count trees, you lying. It's not white against black, it's right against wrong. We on the same team. No, we not. White folk ain't never proved they was on our motherfucking team. Not once. They don't prove that they on our team. We always sitting around trying to prove we on their team. That's our problem. White folk by and large don't prove that they on black people's team. That's a goddamn lie. We on the same team. Which is why white people don't run around here mad about racism. They not mad. They're not in these streets. Fuck you talking about, man? No same team. Go tell your team they on our team. See what they tell you. Go tell your team that you on our team and see what happened to you. Fuck you talking about? See what you get called. They even murder them motherfuckers. They even murder white folk that would even try to stand up. Because there ain't enough of them. There ain't enough of them willing to stand up in the face of adversity like that. That ain't how this shit work. White people don't give a fuck about what's going on with black folk. White people care about dogs. So you'll hear him speak up for dogs. They'll start an organization for dogs. They ain't got no organization for you. That's the truth. Ain't my fault. And the thing that's crazy about that is white people are getting mad like you making some shit up. No, y'all got organizations for dogs. Y'all come out and boycott and march about dogs. Not for black folk. Now, I'm not saying a few white folk won't stand in the crowd with black folks. You know, black folk hold up Black Lives Matter. You have a couple sprinkle white folk around in there. I'm not saying you won't have a couple of those. But a whole white marching organization standing alone, all white, standing up for black people, where? Where? We not on the same team. So it's a lie. And white people act like, you know, they on our team. Ask them where's that happening at? It's not happening. The best way that white folk want to defend, or they don't even really say too much to black folk. All they want to do is come in and tell you what racism is. As you're speaking about racism, they want to come tell you how they're not racist. That's white people's contribution to the conversation, or any type of activism against racism, is to come tell you what racism is, what it isn't, and how they're not racist themselves. That's it. That's where their activism stops. Come troll one of your posts, troll one of your videos. That's it. That's all. They'll come be entertained by black people. They'll come watch you throw a ball and jump. They'll do that. Somebody say racism is man-made. Racism is white man-made. Say it right. I don't like that. Racism isn't man-made. It's white man-made. White man, his mama, they made racism. But they're not willing to do anything to stop it. White people wanted to end racism, goddamn it, they would goddamn get out there and end it tomorrow. But it ain't gonna happen. Because they don't give a fuck. Because they're not being affected by it. Black people didn't create racism. We're constantly fighting against racism. We got to defend ourselves against racism. That's where we are. Always defending ourselves. It'd be nice if you could just grow up and just live out here and everything is cool. That ain't how it works. Because you got to be ready to defend yourself, your family, your child against random ass white racists in the streets and the goddamn system, and the system that's in place that's laced in institutional racism. That's what you have to do. You think black people don't want to raise carefree black children? You can't. It's impossible. And our ignorance is really making us believe that we can. You just can't. It would be great if black kids could just run around and you can be raised and not worry about racism. You can't. You don't teach a kid about racism. They fuck around in grade school and some motherfucking little racist ass white kid done called them a nigger. That's the first time they ever heard it before. You don't get to raise your child carefree if you black. That's not how it works. And we have to stand up. Black people don't have a choice. There is no option in this society. We have to stand up. Black people believing it's a choice leads to the ignorance that we're witnessing out here. We used to have these black cowards all the time out here, letting white people be racist towards them, trusting them, getting in situations with them, being murdered or abused in some type of way because they don't understand what the fuck going on because they wasn't taught. It's our job to teach our kids how to deal with this shit. It's our job to build our children for this society. You have no choice. And if you ask me, Nipsey Hussle was another victim of being a black man telling the truth. Ruffling feathers, causing some problems to the would-be status quo. Black gang members ain't supposed to be woke. The fuck he think he doing? He got too much influence. No, we got to knock that off now. Fear of a black messiah. That is in government record. That's what they fear. That ain't me. That's this government. On every level. Whether it's on a gang level, whether it's on a grassroots activist level, it doesn't matter. They fear that somebody will cause black people to fuck around and organize, fuck around and wake up some black minds. That's the fear of this government. So why the fuck do y'all black people trust them? I don't understand it. Go study COINTELPRO. If you whiting this motherfucker and you watching this video and you want to sit there and talking about how racism ain't real, go study your government. You don't see anything about fear of a white messiah. No, a black one. Because black unity and black people waking up to the bullshit is what this government fears. Why is that? What about that is so problematic? If you white or you just a racist white or an ignorant white or ignorant black person, go do the research. Why is there a fear of a black messiah, but there is no record of any kind of the government being scared or in fear of a white messiah? Why just target black? Why do that? When I tell black people there's power in our unity, it's not because I'm just saying some shit. Clearly, the government is scared of that. The one thing the government is afraid of is what we won't do. And they're able to take out people that's trying to do it. And then we go back to being destabilized. That's a problem. Motherfuckers talking about Nipsey being a gang member, and that's why he was killed. Snoop Dogg a gang member. Why ain't Snoop nowhere dead? Snoop is safe. Snoop ain't ruffling no feathers against white supremacy, the system, exposing the truth about Dr. Sebi. Snoop ain't doing that. Snoop been sold his soul. That's why he can get on TV with Martha Stewart and be a rolling 60 crib. And that's fine. That's why he can do that. So you can't just say, well, Nipsey was a gang member. That's why, that's why. Snoop ain't a problem. They're not fearing what Snoop got to say. Snoop talking his little shit about Trump. They ain't worried about that. Because if you make the entire system and the history of racism in this country about Trump, then they're not worried about you. Because you're making black people focus on one entity, not the government itself. You make it about Trump, well, then you also, there's an example, or there is a preconceived notion that, well, if we just get rid of Trump, then everything will be cool. They don't fear that. Because all you gotta do is put somebody else in office and black folk go back to sleep. Woo, racism over. Man, Trump was, woo. Now that Trump gone, it's okay. They're not worried about Snoop. So Snoop didn't have to be touched. Snoop can have shows on Netflix where he coaching his sons on how to play football. Have shows with Martha Stewart. Be on game shows and shit. Snoop can do all that. Because they ain't worried about Snoop. Ain't no blood's gonna run up on him and shoot him or nothing. They ain't got to worry about nothing. From Snoop. Because he's not talking about no revolutionary shit. As long as you keep what you have to say, I guess I'll say give it a person to hate. That's safe. You hate one person within the government, i.e. Donald Trump. That's safe. That's a safe, they're not worried about that. Once you start talking about this government as a whole, you make a documentary about Dr. Sebi where you will have to be exposing holistic medicine. You have to expose that. That's an entire, that's a team of doctors that's being killed all the time. Nobody gives a fuck about it. Somebody's killing holistic doctors too. No matter their race, they're being killed. So if you're doing a documentary about Dr. Sebi, you exposing more than just talking about Donald Trump. You exposing something big. It's not specific. It's not focused in one place. That's when you become a fucking threat. Because you stand the chance of waking up masses of people. Dr. Sebi running around here curing diseases that y'all done told us incurable. Because y'all in bed with big farm. See, now you dealing with some big shit now with big farm. Whoa, now what's going on with big farm? You open up the whole pharmaceutical company industry. You open up the fact that there is money in treatment, not the cure. That's big. That's what they don't want happening. Damn sure not no black man doing it. And not even a white man or woman doing it either. They killing holistic doctors, and you can do any amount of research you want to. You find me one person that's done went to goddamn prison for killing one of these holistic doctors over the years. Find me one. Motherfuckers going to prison every day. All types of shit they're going to prison for. You find me one person that's went to prison for killing a holistic doctor, you won't find it. I done looked. They'll say they killed and they'll say it's a robbery gone wrong or a whole family suicide situation. And these is white folk getting killed too. Had a black man at the CDC, I think that was last year, maybe it was year before last. He was coming out to expose these goddamn shots. These immunization shots. He ended up dead. Y'all don't hear nothing about nobody going to prison about it. Oh, he killed himself. He was depressed. They was going to fire him, so he killed himself. You know what black people did? Oh, okay, that sounds about right. Thank you, government. Let's go to the club this weekend. Let's record ourselves twerking. Record ourselves smoking a blunt. Record ourselves with chains on and money by our fucking ear. Let's do little stupid shit like that. You won't find one person. So when you going at this system and you start opening up something big, that's what they don't want to get out here. They don't want y'all minds elevated. They don't want y'all enlightened. This is why YouTube itself, they said they gonna come out and censor conspiracy videos. Well then, what is a conspiracy video? Anti-government is conspiracy. All of it is chalked up as conspiracy. Don't know whether y'all noticed that or not. Anything against this government, whether you're dealing with big farm, big oil, the world banks, Federal Reserve, the FBI, NSA, you opening up shit like that. Is it not? You see what I'm saying? Like, when you're dealing with these big, when you open up this government for what it is, even YouTube said, "Nah, we're not doing conspiracy." Well, then YouTube describe conspiracy to me. Tell me what conspiracy is, because I don't believe that motherfuckers oddly hijacked the plane, ran into a building, because I don't believe that. Y'all know the shit ain't true. But now that's a conspiracy. America running around destabilizing whole countries, occupying entire countries. This is real. That's not a conspiracy. The bombing of Black Wall Street, the experiments they did on black men and women, giving them STDs, sending them back, that's not conspiracy. So then you even have YouTube coming out here being anti-truth. And they don't even have to describe or define conspiracy. They can just say conspiracy, which is anti-government, anti-big bank, anti-big farm. Because what that documentary was going to be, even though it was going to be about Dr. Sebi, that was going to be an anti-big farm documentary. Because how the fuck can you know that there's a man out here curing people of these diseases that y'all say incurable, and y'all don't do shit about it? Y'all continue to sell the treatment. The documentary was going to be overlaid with Dr. Sebi. Of course, it's going to follow and chronicle his life. But the big picture is, okay, what the fuck is Big Pharma out here doing? That's the can of worms that would have been open with that documentary, which still should be opened. Again, if people care about Nipsey like they say they did, they need to pick up that documentary and continue it and put it out. Jay-Z been making documentaries. He did one about Khalif Browder. I think he was working on one about Trayvon Martin. Do something that's going to open up something big. Do something against Big Farm, Big Oil. I think Killer Mike had his shit on Netflix. But do something that's going to open up something big. A lot of y'all like that Killer Mike shit. But these dudes is doing stuff that's safe. You going to tell us how somebody that was murdered by the cops was murdered, or somebody that was done wrong by this justice system, which is still very relevant in the situation with Khalif Browder. This relevant, but it's done. Open up this motherfucker. Open up the whole thing. Show us all of it. Because Big Farm has a lot of lobbying power here in this country. Too much lobbying power. So that's why you got to be careful of you have to be careful of even these candidates that's taking money from Big Farm, like Cory Booker. You got to be careful of who these motherfuckers in bed with. Because Big Farm has a lot of lobbying power in this government. They don't want people to know that they can get well by living a healthier life. Then they're going to fuck around and open up the FDA with this motherfucking food that's poisoning people out here, causing these diseases. So, you know, it becomes, it's just all this truth. It's hard to take in a lot sometimes, but it's out here and it's all connected. The food industry will keep you or make you sick. Then Big Pharma come give you some pills to help you live a little longer, even though you're going to end up dying anyway. You got the insurance companies involved in this shit, involved in Black Death or death in general, really. This is a web of deceit. If you open up, walk through one door, there's another door right behind it. There's another door right behind that one. There's another door right behind it. And when you get through, and when you pan out and look at the whole thing, everybody in there making money together, being fucked up to the citizens of this country and the citizens of the whole fucking world. How can you poison an entire water supply and you don't go to prison? In the case of Governor Snyder up in Michigan. How can you do that and you don't go to prison? All this shit is connected. And that's what they don't want. They don't want anybody to see that. So now everything is a conspiracy. And then you just deal with the government speaking, or the government specifically targeting black people in general. Well, then now that's a conspiracy. Now racism is a conspiracy too. So now talking about race becomes a conspiracy topic as well, because the government would never be against. Hey, how could you make a video saying the government is against black people? That's a conspiracy. This is a post-racial society. So now even talking about racism becomes a conspiracy. And it can be chunked under that umbrella of conspiracy. Because don't nobody want to know the truth. When I started doing this shit, it was doors. I'm walking through doors. Just walking through it. Walking through doors. And it don't stop. It never stops. The propaganda, the media being used as propaganda. As they use their platform for the propaganda. This shit it's a web of deceit. And Nipsey was on his way to cracking through that and connecting some dots. They can't have that shit. They can't have somebody black doing no shit like that. Because then what if black people fuck around and wake up? What if black folk fuck around and wake up? Fuck around and focus their mind on something more than sports and getting and turning up and all the stupid shit that we involve. What if that happens? They run the risk of not just being worried about one black messiah, but black people realizing they are their own messiah. That's the fear. Not just one, many. Because with just one, they can take them out. The fear is that this black man or any black man or woman come through here, wake you up, you realize you're a messiah too. Oh shit, I'm a messiah. Well, now I'm gonna raise my children to be on that. They're gonna be a black messiah too. And I'm gonna inspire other children. I'm gonna inspire other people to realize that they're a messiah too. That's the fear. That's the problem. So they double down when it comes to black people speaking the truth. Black people stand up against racism, stand up for what's right. Dealing with government corruption. Because it's corrupt from the goddamn cops to the goddamn judge to the goddamn prison. The whole thing is corrupt. That's the fear that they have. That's why people like Nipsey, even though he was a gang member, he has to be taken care of. And I can send another gang member to do it because they stupid enough to do it. Take payment and go kill somebody. Go kill another black man who's working with that messiah energy. Maybe even in the early stages, but it grows. And sadly enough, our own people will be used to carry out hits for this motherfucking government, to infiltrate for this motherfucking government. Because we don't have any motherfucking pride, and they know it. They know that we'll take payment. You keep a people poor, they'll come take some payment to knock off one of their own brothers or sisters. This is the problem that we have amongst each other, because they can't infiltrate us with their white faces, so they'll get us to do it. This is why I have such a problem with coons, because coons can be leveraged, convinced. Well, I won't fuck with you. I want those type black people. You good. I'll give you a spot on Fox News or so. You know, I'll give you a spot. Just come out and be against your people. Robert Small sold out Fred Hampton for $300. $300. $300. And not only the government, But even the police department can guarantee I won't bother you. I'll let you run your drugs. I'll let you do whatever it is you want to do. I'll leave you alone if you go take out this other black person in a rival gang even. You can have this block. I want you to go take care of him, though. They make deals like that. And I don't see how y'all put that past them. So y'all make it a random act of violence. They know what they're doing. Y'all just put it past them. They playing chess. We playing tic-tac-toe. Hangman at best. We ain't even made the checkers yet. Because they can still do shit like this and have black people come out here and say, oh, that's just some gang shit. When they've been infiltrating organizations since the beginning of motherfucking time. And once they got privy to the fact that they could just use other black people to take out other black organizations because black people lack pride. Like, no, I'm not doing it against no black person. For you? Because the white man coming to me, I know something. The white man or his mama coming to you want you to do something. No, motherfucker, I ain't doing that shit for you. But they're able to apply pressure. Well, if you don't do it, I'll just arrest you. You gonna do 20 years. I got this whole file on you. I've been watching you for a whole year. I'll come knock your motherfucking door down, lock your motherfucking ass up for 40 years, or go do a drive-by shooting on another black person. Go kill him real quick. And actually, if you do any amount of research, they found that even some of these white officers of this government, they'll orchestrate drive-by shootings. Make it look like another gang did it. And of course, the retaliation is going to happen. So then now they got it started like that too. They'll even do shit like that. These motherfuckers are nefarious. They devious, but their games shouldn't still be working. They just do. I don't give a fuck. No person. I got issues with black people. I got some issues with some black people, but can't no white motherfucker come to me. I don't give a damn and say, well, if you just turn on them, I'll look out for you. No. That wouldn't work on me. Now, if it was through our whole community, no. Our community ain't like that, though. It's too easy for them to infiltrate us and make us do bullshit. I'm telling y'all, this shit's not a coincidence. And if you do any amount of research, it's there. It's there. You can chalk it up as coincidence, but I don't see how you can if you just look at the fucking evidence. Look at how we've been infiltrated. Anytime we have an organization, they're infiltrated. They're co-opted. It's not a coincidence. Rival gangs. Nipsey Hussle is a Crip. I'll go talk to some Bloods. I mean, if I'm a mastermind, right? If I know I can do this shit, I'll just go talk to some Bloods. They'll do it. And vice versa. I'll go talk to some Crips. If I want a Blood hit, I can go talk to some Crips. They don't like them anyway. They already hate each other. It don't take much for them to go do it. So even if it was a black person that did it, I do not believe that the government wasn't behind it. I don't believe that. Even if it was a black person that did it. I don't know the details. But even if it was just some rival gang shit, it still was orchestrated. And I'm not changing my motherfucking mind. I don't care what they put on TV. I don't care what black folk gonna be talking about. Talking about he was a gang member. He got what he deserved. I've seen all types of stupid ass shit for black folk on social media. As the FBI looks at our comments and see how fucking stupid we are, we continue to be stupid for these motherfuckers. I don't care what nobody say. I don't give a damn if a black man did it. The government was behind it. The government sent them. The LAPD sent them. I don't give a fuck. I'm not changing my mind about that. Call me crazy. Call me conspiracy theorist. You can call me whatever the fuck you want. But this government have been using those tactics. And they've used them so much that there's no way I believe they retired those tactics just because it's so-called 2019. I don't believe that. All these other activists that are being taken out, murdered, same motherfucking situation. The government is behind it in one way or another. It may be a black face person that did it, that do the actual hit, but the government is behind it. I believe that shit. And I'm not taking my foot off the gas on that shit. And I don't think any black person should. I think it would be better for us as a people if we all stood on what we know. That you do shit like this, white man, his mama. You do shit like this. And I believe you did this shit too. Because he was about to open the motherfucking can of worms on y'all's ass fucking with this Dr. Sebi documentary. He's about to open up big farm. He's about to open that shit up. And y'all can't have black people waking up. Y'all need black people fighting. Y'all need black people arguing, being distracted by celebrities. Y'all need black people getting on YouTube, battling each other. That's what benefits y'all, for us to be constantly disorganized and constantly mistrusting of each other. That benefits y'all. You know what videos won't be flagged on here? Is another, not conspiracy videos will be flagged. Conspiracy, again, we're going to put conspiracy in here. A video of a black person talking shit about another black person won't never be flagged. Do you know why? That's not problematic. Ain't no unity coming from that. That's not problematic at all. YouTube ain't worried about flagging videos like that. They're not concerned with that. At all. That's why if you're a black person, man or woman, you can sit on these videos and talk shit about black people and you ain't got to worry about YouTube flagging your video. You ain't got to worry about YouTube demonetizing your video. You don't have to worry about shit. Because that's okay. Nothing wrong with that. That's a part of the program. That's how it works. That's how it works. Anthony Brian Logan, man, what you doing in here, man? What is you doing in here? Of course, this is an Anthony question. What makes him different than any other rapper that got killed in their hometown? Any other rapper getting killed in their hometown wasn't making a Dr. Sebi documentary. Wasn't talking about buying the block, wasn't talking about any type of unifying. They wasn't talking about no shit like that. They wasn't doing that. That's what makes him different. Because he was about to expose Big Farm. He was about to expose the truth behind Dr. Sebi. That's what makes him different. That's what makes him way different. He wasn't just a rapper. If he was just a rapper, they wouldn't have bothered him. I don't think he would have been, he wouldn't have went out like that. Because if it was just about him being a rapper, he'd been a rapper for a while. He'd been a rapper for a while. If you noticed that rappers that get killed in their hood be lower, not as big, they kind of lower tier rappers that die in their own hoods. Nipsey was big and he was an independent artist. He was an independent artist. You can't brush or trust this government with what they do. You can't trust the media. Anthony, you can't trust the media. And you say we gotta stop with the silly conspiracy theories. How is this silly? The thing that will make this silly was if the government didn't use these tactics. You're supposed to be an intelligent brother. The government been using these tactics against black people for how long? How could you call it silly? How could you dismiss it off as silly? That's like saying that you trust the government, which I'm sure you do. I can almost, I can almost guarantee that you trust this government empirically. I'm sure you do. Wholeheartedly, you trust this government. But why do you trust this government? That's the question I got for you and anybody else that trusts this government the way they do. Why? Is it silly to not trust the government, to see a government setup, to see a setup against black people when we know what this government is capable of, and we know that they have articles within the government, within the CIA, FBI, they have articles to keep black people destabilized from fear of a black messiah? How can you continue to call all what you call conspiracy theories, which is basically anybody not trusting the government? That's what you call conspiracy theories now. Because this wouldn't be a conspiracy theory if I just believe what the media said. You see, that's the problem with black folk. You wouldn't be calling this a silly conspiracy theory if I said, oh, he was a gang member, he got shot. Some other gang member just shot him. That's how it be. Then you wouldn't be calling this a conspiracy theory because I trusted exactly what the media told me. You'd be okay with that because you trust the government for whatever reason, even though you're black. No reason for a black person to trust this government. None. When they are actively trying to keep us destabilized. How? Simple. How? When you know that. Anthony, you know that shit. You know what COINTELPRO is. You know that shit. No, I'm not saying that. Anthony Brown Logan, I'm not. You said so since Nipsey is dead, that means the documentary can't be completed. It can be completed. I believe it should be completed. We'll see what happens with that. We'll see what happens with that. I don't know what's going to happen with that right now. It should be completed. All these rappers coming out here, people that got money, they are talking about how much they respected and love Nipsey. So hopefully they pick it up and continue forward with the documentary. But a man that's opening up a rabbit hole like that, with his mind open like that, he's a threat. He's a threat to waking up other black people. He's a threat. Anthony Brown Logan, I want you to ask this to the government. I'm going to read your question because I'm not going to be here too much longer. I'm going to read your question. You says, if it can be completed, then what was the purpose in killing him? The information will still be out here, and this event will make it, will give it more publicity. Why they kill any black person that they kill? You can ask that about Nipsey. You can ask that about MLK. You can ask that about Medgar Evers. You can ask that about all these black activists that are ending up dead. You can ask that about all these holistic doctors. What you tell me what you think the purpose is? Why do they run around here killing black activists? Or even with if you want to break it down about holistic doctors, why do they run around killing holistic doctors? Why do they do this? Why is the government always killing motherfuckers? Why do they do that? Why are they going through those links? Why are they actively trying to stop a black messiah from coming from the black community? Nipsey was using his influence, even his gang ties, to speak down violence amongst his own gang, buying up properties in black areas, trying to buy up the block. He was also doing those things as well. So why would the government do that? Because you think it was going to stop with that documentary? You think he was just going to stop, be stagnant there? He was going to plateau at that point? Why they kill anybody? Because they know motherfuckers, these people are gonna grow. They know that. They know the threat. And look who you compare them to. Bankroll Fresh, Extension, Jimmy Wapo, Soldier Slim. Look who you comparing them to. At this point, yeah, I can't. Look at the people you naming. I just said that you're naming lower tier. These people ain't. What were these people doing? What was Bankroll Fresh doing? What was Extension doing? What was Jimmy Wapo doing? What were they doing? What influence were they? What were they doing? I mean, I'm sure, Anthony, when you're gonna make your video about it, you'll chalk it all up. You know, you'll chalk it up, and that's fine. That's fine. That's perfectly fine. I'm sure when you're gonna make your video, you'll chalk this up because you trust the government. I think you I think you are a MAGA dude. So you probably trust the government. You don't feel as though that you know, you trust this government. You feel like they have black people's best interest at heart. That's cool. But you know about COINTELPRO. You know what it is. You know what it is. You know what it is. But I'm sure when you make your video, white people will come over there to your channel and they'll love exactly what you're saying. And that's how you should know that you saying some bullshit. That should let you know. I know it ain't letting you know thus far, but that's how you should know. When you make that video and you chalk it up to regular black on black gang violence, white people gonna be thumb up that video all day long. All day. And that's cool. That's cool. This motherfucker named Europe 3 says you guys being too paranoid. Have you ever been black, Europe 3? Have you studied the history? Black people ain't paranoid enough, if you ask me. That's the premise of what I'm saying. We trust the government too much. Black people are not paranoid. Ain't no too paranoid. No, we're not. We're gonna be partying and turning up and talking about some bullshit tomorrow. Well, I'll say day after tomorrow. Maybe Nipsey gonna get his shine tomorrow. Day after that, we not paranoid enough. If you ask me, we too trusting of this government. We too trusting of things that happen. The fact that there's still not been one person in prison over any of these lynches that's happening out here. They rule them a suicide on sight. On site. I just read about a lynching of a brother that was found lynched. Actually, he was from North Carolina, found lynched in Indiana in his truck. Suicide. We not paranoid enough. That's what the problem is. I'm not jumping to, this isn't called jumping to conclusions. You can't call it that. You have to call it at this point using deductive reasoning. Look at the history. This ain't jumping to no conclusions. This is drawing conclusions based on the information that we have here. Why have you not heard of anybody going to prison for lynching any black men, women, or children? Why have you not heard about anybody going to prison for killing any of these holistic doctors? Why? This ain't jumping to conclusions. I'm already here. I'm already here based on the research. Come on now. Come on now. Black people ain't paranoid enough. We out here just falling off, dying, being murdered, being assassinated. Our leaders being assassinated all the time throughout history. We should be motherfucking paranoid. If you want to call it paranoia, I call it being aware. It's a matter of awareness. It's a matter of being observant. That's all this is. We ain't paranoid enough. We out here running around, you know, wanting to live our best life and secure bags. We not observant enough. We pray too much. All we want to do is pray and forgive and listen to the government. And this government has given not one black person a reason to trust it. Not one. But we still do. We're not paranoid enough. We're not raising our children to be prepared for this society that they live in. That's what we're failing at. We chalk up everything to coincidence. And that's what we're failing at. We're making everything that's happening right now about Donald Trump. That's what we're failing at. These are our problems in this society. Black Jesus ain't coming back. Black Jesus ain't coming back. If you're waiting on Jesus, then you're going to be waiting. Yeah, Europe got to be trolling. Donald Trump has never said a racist thing towards blacks. You go look up his policies when he was running, him and his racist ass daddy too, when they were, it was housing. It's more so about what Donald Trump has done as per what he says. It doesn't take a much effort to not call black people a nigger all on camera. It doesn't take a whole lot of effort. You can use coded language to say what you gotta say about black people, especially now in these times. You can use coded language like black on black crime. You can make black people the criminals of the entire nation. You can use coded language, but if you look at his practices and his housing, when he was being racist in those practices, then look at his actions. He shouldn't have to tell you he a racist. He shouldn't have to call black people niggers. I know that's the only form of racism black people look for a lot of times. It's a white person have to blatantly come out and call him a nigger. And that's the only thing that's relevant. There are many different forms of racism, and particularly institutional racism, that keep black people from getting certain opportunities that white people and other minorities, not other minorities, but other groups of people are granted. That's a matter of practice. That's what makes it racism. It's a practice. It's a religion, really. It's a mindset. It's a mindset. I mean, he might not be sure. Virgo Ma said he trolling. Europe got to be trolling. There are a lot of people who support Donald Trump. Even black folk. There's some black folks who fuck with Donald Trump. Hell, ABL was just in here. He a Donald Trump supporter. Candace Owens. There's some motherfuckers that support Donald Trump. There's some people that support him. They might not be trolling. They might be serious about this shit. They're just ignorant. They're just ignorant. They're just ignorant. Jarrell, what? Who you think killed him? I don't know who killed him specifically, but I do believe and I stand on the government was behind that shit. The government behind it. The government's behind it. And if some people say the Illuminati, I think the Illuminati is just an extension of the government. If you want to use that word, don't matter to me what you use. Don't matter to me. I believe that the government is behind this shit. And the Illuminati is just an extension of the government. So it's the same shit at the end of the day. Y'all want to see my shirt? What time is it? Let me see something. Let me see what time it is. I don't know if you can see my shirt good. It's Cecil J. Williams. Cecil Williams drinking out of a whites only water fountain. At one time, that was a criminal act. You know how they say black people are criminals. At one time, drinking out of a whites only fountain was a criminal act, in which case a black person would be deemed a criminal for this, amongst many other things. Looking at white people in the eyes. This was a criminal act at one point. So this was big for a black person to drink out of a whites only fountain without fear, you know, without fear. But that's per the history. That's how the history is. But even drinking out of a white fountain, was against the law for black people. But this is Cecil J. Williams. That's the brother on the shirt, Cecil Williams. You can actually Google him. You can see the actual whole picture, because I don't know if y'all can see it, but the whole thing. But Cecil J. Williams. Wait, what? Cali girls, well, I don't know what you're saying. You should really go within and find peace, let go of fear. I ain't scared of shit. I don't have any fear. I wish all black people didn't have any fear. I'm about to get off here, though. Somebody told me this early. It's 12 o'clock in the morning. It's 12:18 a.m. where I'm at. I'm about to get off. This ain't holding on to the past. This is paying homage to a brave black man. That's paying homage. While they wearing Confederate flags, while they holding on to their past, I hold on to motherfuckers as my heroes. That's what I do. That's why I don't get mad about MAGA hats and Confederate flags, and I don't give a fuck, because I be wearing mine. I'm wearing mine or flying mine. That's how I roll. That's how I roll. But understand that. Mad love to y'all. I will not say R.I.P. Nipsey Hussle. I refuse to say that, because to me, it's disrespectful. To me, saying R.I.P. is disrespectful, because there's no resting in peace. There's no rest at all for somebody who is murdered that way in the streets. Somebody who's murdered at all, leaving children behind. He was engaged. There is no rest. That's what we doing alive. We resting. So I won't say rest in peace. That's not my language. Even though I know black people done turned into rest in power. Well, ain't no power in being murdered in the streets like that. Unless that power comes to us. That's what we have to take on, that power. It has to empower us, but it doesn't. We have so many black leaders that have died, and they're not resting in no power. They're not resting in no peace. And we got to stop being so peaceful. We have to stop resting so much and wake the fuck up. That's our responsibility. And teach our kids where they are. Nipsey Hussle was assassinated by the government. I'm not backing off of that. I don't give a fuck who has whatever they want to say. I don't trust this government, and whatever somebody say the government did, they did that shit. I believe it in my heart. They have a fear of a black messiah. They have a fear of waking up the black mind. They have a fear of black people unifying. And at some point, we're going to have to challenge them on that fear and make that fear a reality for these motherfuckers. And we all become our messiah instead of praying for one to come back and save us. Because it's in us. They can't kill us all. They can't kill us all. I'll see y'all. I'm out.